Yeah. Do you remember how to start the React app? It was a command that we used to start it. npm space what?
React.
No.
Create.
No, remember, create React app was a different thing. Don't overthink it. npm.
Start.
Exactly. So, npm space start. You wanted to be the one to.
Space.
Mm-hmm.
Start.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and it should open a thing, and it should redirect you. Okay. Let's make this full screen. Oh, okay.
Okay.
I have some if you need. You don't have? Do you have one? Okay, perfect one.
Two.
The bag is here. En ik zou toch dat ik het pick the color. Okay. And that one you can write that one down because we are going to be using that a lot. Okay. All right. So in looking at this, do you remember where we left off? Yeah, we were doing the header, right? Okay. So here is the code for that. So let's review a little bit. This header.js is a component, right? A React component, right? Mm-hmm. What are 3 things we need to get a React component going? First, we need to import React, okay? Then we need our component itself. Either it's a function or a class, but we will almost always do functional components, okay? And lastly, we need to export it. Okay, now, one more thing. Which file decides what is being rendered?
Render?
What is being shown? What components are being shown? You can look anywhere here. And you can try. Click into it, see if that's the right file.
Click it.
Like you can click here or you can click here, you know. This is the component itself.
Yeah.
And this is another component, right? But this is no longer being shown. Right.
This.
Right there. So you see header.
So index.
App.js, yes. Index.js decides what is being shown. Okay? Okay. But that part's not too important because I just that part is just, as long as you know. Basically, the reason why that is if you're coding and you're like, why aren't I seeing such and such? It's because it could be because it's not properly being rendered. Okay. All right, so I was thinking, let's finish up that header with some styling. Okay. So, what's a nice color scheme? It can be, 2 colors, opposite colors, or 1 color. What's a nice color scheme? What's your favorite color?
Purple.
Purple. Ooh, purple and white, maybe? That would be nice, yeah. Okay. So, if you imagine, yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, I can't. Well, that's boring. Maybe I can do it this way. Okay. All right, you see the outline of this row? What do you think if we made that background purple and we made the text white? So that it's, visible. Okay? So, here is already an example of inline CSS styling. Okay? So the syntax of it is style equals two curly braces and then your CSS property, right? So we want to change the background color of that, right? So
Under the style? ولا-
this is for. So here's the question: is which div do you want to affect? Which div do you want to change the background color of?
الهيدر كلياتها.
الهيدر كلياته, but we don't have a div called header. So which one is it? One way you can know, and I think you mentioned this before, you do inspect element. So that's H1. We don't want that. Here's this div called 12 blah blah. That's this right here, right? So if I hover over that, that will get this to be, but we want more. We want the whole thing. So what if we change the background color of this row? This here. Right. Okay. Do that. And remember the syntax. The syntax is exactly the same.
نحط style.
Yep. That syntax always stays the same. You put style.
هون under row ولا؟
Right where the cursor is. The cursor already is at the right spot. And then, yeah, do shift and that.
Shift and
Yeah. One more. There you go. Okay.
نحط الcolor.
Do you remember the CSS property for it's background color. It should eventually help you. Keep typing. Yes. There you go. And then just like that, you put a colon. And then in quotes, you put your color. I think you can just type purple. Alright, so save it with Command S because this is Mac. And there we go. So we still want to change the font to white to be more readable. But is that purple good? Is that shade of purple good? There's other shades. Here, this one. This one's good, I think. Yeah.
Very light.
Okay. The way you try it, just copy it, all of it, including the hashtag. Go over here.
بدل purple.
Yep. What do you think? A little better? So now that we changed it to a lighter background, we actually want the text to be darker. Right?
Gray.
So here's the thing about styling. I mean, black, it's already visible, But if you want, styling, still a shade of purple, but darker.
Oh, okay.
So what I like to do, I'll copy this. This one, I like this one. So now, it'll give me all the, So maybe this one. So I copied it for you. Now, change the color of the H1.
Each one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Yes. the style definition has to be within the what it is called, greater than, equal to, greater than, less than signs of the opening, not the closing. So that's the closing. You want to go to the opening. Yes.
So?
Yep. I think if you just hit, that's fine, that's fine. I was gonna say if you hit enter, I think it'll autocomplete. But so, yeah. So background color was the background. How do you think you changed?
Font color?
That might, I don't remember font color was. Just color. I remember there being, I thought there was a property called font color, but I don't remember if it does the same thing. Command V. Okay, yeah. And we can double check.
Yeah, that's true.
So H1, there, color is that purple, whereas over here, oh, well, it doesn't say the color because it's, whatever. Okay. Okay. What do you think? Is all good? All right, so let's go ahead and do the same thing here. I can just copy this. Okay. Okay, let's see. All right, so that's the header. I want the rest of the page, right? So we talked about this a little bit last time. You can make it all one giant component. So it's called header component because I named it header component. But you can just continue to write HTML here to do the rest of your stuff. Or you can make another component, call it
Button.
call it main page, whole page, home page, main page or something. And that's where this content will be. Okay? And let's go with that approach because I want to show you something in here. Because now we have two components we want to show. So I'll show you how we do that here in a second. So we want to create another component. New file. MainPage.js. We want to start a new component. Let's do it.
Import React.
I think if you start typing it, it should finish it for you. Type React. Yeah, there you go. Hit enter. There you go. All right. What's next? What's the next piece you need?
Function?
A function. Now in JavaScript, it's nice because it's literally just function.
This?
Now space and whatever name you want to give. Oh, the function name has to match the name of the file. And case sensitive and everything. Okay?
.js?
No, you don't put the .js. Okay. And then parentheses and then curly there. And put some space. And then what's the last thing you need?
Export React.
Main page.
Default or export React?
Export default. Same thing here. Export default. Okay. Now, this we didn't, I don't think we went on this point that much, but you will always need a return because that's where your HTML is. So return. And it needs regular parentheses. And I think we mentioned this once, because this only technically returns one container, we need to have a parent container fluid. A parent div. Okay? Now the parent div does not have to have this stuff. I just put it because we're using Bootstrap. Okay? Bootstrap has a CSS thing called container fluid. Right? So I'm just using that. Okay. So what do we want on this main page? Maybe we need buttons to submit complaint. View complaints. I think we'll start with those two. Submit complaints, view complaints. Yeah, we'll start with those two. So, and I guess we can have them. You want to have them side by side? You want to have them one on top of the other?
Side by side.
Okay. Actually, that's a good thing we talked about. Okay. So you want them side by side, right? So if we're using Bootstrap, remember columns and rows? So we're going to have a row. How many columns do we need? 2. Now, since the maximum number of columns is 12, so you would need one of size 6 and one of size 6. Right? Okay. So I define my row. I'm going to define my columns. Col 6. I just did one column of size 6. We'll do one more. And now I have my second column of size 6. Okay. So in this column, we'll have one button. I think Bootstrap will give us some nice looking buttons. Because by the way, if you use the default, like I think, well, let's try it here. Submit complaint. Things will look very ugly. It's not showing up because we're not rendering it, right? So I think, well, let's import it. Import that one we just did. Okay. I think if we just do this, because we want this one to sit right below the header, right? I think that should be fine. There we go. Look how ugly that button is. So I think Bootstrap will have some nicer ones for us. Yeah. And we'll change the colors and stuff, but I'll do this one. So if I just copy this, you see how it already has a class and everything? Okay. So what was I going to do? Oh yeah, change this to submit complaint. And in React, normally in normal HTML we say class. But look here and here. In React we say class name. That's just a thing for React. Okay? All right. And we said we wanted another button here. This one was view complaints. Okay. So now they're side. I mean, we will fix their positioning, but they are side by side, right? Okay. And if we want to fix their positioning, just like I centered this one, the header, we centered it, right? We can do the same exact thing. I think if we just do this, let's see if that'll work. That's a little better. Now they're centered. And we can do it even more. So they're centered. What if, I forgot which one. Yes, okay. Maybe that's a little too much, but that's fine. Start. Yeah, brought them a little closer. We can move them a little bit farther. Style. So this is the button on the left. Margin right. I'm going to add some spacing on the right. 5%. Oh, I don't know what happened. Oh, I added it. Sorry. I don't need to add it here. I need to add it to the button. Yeah, this is it. And I can do, and accept margin right. It's margin left. I can add some here, put 10. That's a little bit, okay. Now here is something. Notice that, it'll show more clearly if I do this. Okay. So you see this container fluid? This? This is the parent div of the header, right?
Mm-hmm.
This container fluid is the parent div of the main page component, okay? Notice that together, they barely add up to be a quarter of the length of the page. But, you know, we want it to take the whole page. We don't want this white space down here, right?
Yeah.
So there's a couple ways to achieve this, but the way I like, and the simplest way I understand it, is there is a CSS property for height. Okay, so you can say the height is this many pixels or this many percentage, right? Or you can specify the height to be the view height of the display. So whatever view height this display can do, it'll do that. Okay? So if I say the header, let's say, is view height of 100, that means this purple, whatever, will take the whole, because it's 100. What if I said, let's say this view height of the header was 5, and I said this main content was 95. Now, they will add up together to be 100, and they will take up, you know. So the way you do that is, so two things. I need to change the height of the header, and I need to change the height of main page. So let's go to header, okay? And I want to change the height of the entire parent. So I'm actually going to affect this one right here, all the way on the top. Height, 100. I don't know, no, sorry. I think 5 is a lot, but we can try it. We can play with it. 5. View height, VH. Oh no, I think I did that wrong. Height. Okay. And in the main page, I'm going to say height is 95.
VH.
View height.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Oh. Okay, I don't know what happened. Something happened. Why are they overlapping? Ooh, I think I know. I'm gonna try this. Margin top 5 view height. Okay, no, that didn't help. Okay, I'm not sure if this will help either, but what if I did it like this? Maybe it could be something about not supposed to affect, but I don't think that was it. Let me revert them back. Okay, so what if I changed it here? Height 5 VH. So let me just try that for now. Okay, now they overlap. Okay. I think I just need to increase this. This is too small for the container, maybe. So if I make it 10. Okay, I think I just need to make this bigger. Okay. I think because 5 was too small, so it was like smushing things or something. I think, I'm not sure, but yeah. So let's make this 20. So I think that should look better. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, 20. So that means let's make this one 80. Now again, I'm not sure. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now they're not overlapping, anything weird happening. And okay. So let's practice one last thing, and that is implementing CSS from a different file. Okay? So let's do. We can do two things. One, we can create another CSS file and import it in that component and use, its stuff. Index.css, I think if we look, yeah, see how it's already importing index.css here? And it's later being affected everywhere? So if you write CSS here, it'll apply to your entire project. Okay? Now, normally that's not, normally in huge, imagine if you have a big, project and all, like this file would be like 10,000 lines, So normally it's bad practice, but for us, we don't really care. So we're going to do a CSS class and we're going to try to change the, colors of our buttons. So I want this, let's say, to be the same, to be a shade of purple. Which one do you like?
Same.
Keep in mind that it's on a light background. So don't pick something like this,
Right.
this light, Maybe this. So we need to give this CSS class a name. Main page button.
Why did you put that?
I put dot at the beginning because if I don't put dot, let me show. I'll show you the difference this way. There's p tags, right? P tags in HTML text, like this. P H1.
Oh,
Yeah. So if I don't put a dot, I do this. That means whatever I type here will affect every single p tag there is. But instead, what if I want to use it as a class, like these things? When you define the class in CSS, it needs to start with dot. That's how it knows it's a class. Okay. Let's make, because we want to be nice and modern, and modern don't like rounded like this. So I want the corners to be sharp, not rounded like that. So border radius, I think 0 will do it. What else? We want the background color to be that purple we said. Background color. Okay, let's start with that. So save changes here. Now I need to call this to use it. We wanted a main page. Okay, so class name. We're already using these. Fine, keep them. I'm gonna add, just without the dot. And same thing here. Now, I believe it's not going to make any difference, but there's a reason. Yeah, they did not change. Reason why is because Bootstrap classes, something about them, they're a bit annoying in that they take precedence. So since we're mixing Bootstrap class with our class, the Bootstrap class properties will take precedence. Okay? So what you do, we're trying to override Bootstrap. Okay? The way you do that is import it. Important. What important does is, I think, it's saying that this property overrides everything. Okay? There you go. Oh, and let's remove that outline. I think just border 0. Also important. There you go. Look at that. Fancy. Okay. Any questions? Okay. So let's review. We did a mix of inline CSS styling and CSS styling from another file. We created a new component. Made it look a little nicer. Now, next thing maybe we'll do is, yes, we'll start with the submit complaint. So when we click this button, we want it to take us to a different page. And we want to have a form where we submit our complaint. So yeah, we'll do that next.